Graeme Souness alongside Simon and myself this lunchtime. We're coming up to 12:20 this Monday lunchtime. I, Mr. Simon Jordan, for my sins. Well, I told you I was going on Saturday morning, did I not? When we had that lovely chat together. I popped down to the Den. They all come down to the Den, as they sing at the beginning. And it was Millwall against Sunderland. It was quite a weekend in the Championship. Leicester and Ipswich continue their automatic promotion push. Victories over West Brom and Coventry. Wes Burns hit a stunner for Ipswich in a standout moment. But Sunderland, who took 3,500 fans on a day of real disruption, all the way down here to London, to the Den, they remain 3 points adrift from the playoffs. They picked up a point at Millwall. Jack Clark, the winger, got it with a penalty kick, having won the penalty as well. I spoke to Jack post-match, and as he said to me, it's just good for a young team like Sunderland to go to the Den and get something.
I've played here a few times, and every single time I come, to be honest, it's always like a hostile environment. It's one of them fixtures you see and you don't really look forward to playing Millwall at the Den, and we knew we had to be at somewhere near our best today to get something from the game, and we thought we put in a fairly good performance, to be honest. It's just over the last couple of weeks, performance hasn't really reciprocated in our results, and we're trying to put that right, and we think to turn the game around today and get a draw in the end is a very good point for where we're at the minute in terms of we're a young squad, we're still naive. A lot of the boys didn't even know where Millwall was, to be honest. A lot of them haven't played here, and it's just trying to integrate that and change the mindset into coming here and win and just keep driving and keep driving to get something from the games.
As you say, you're a young side, but it's a big ask, isn't it? Because there's a big expectation on Sunderland all the time.
Obviously, yeah, because it's a massive club. Everybody knows that. But sometimes I think it works in our favour in terms of we're young. A lot of the boys don't know what they're expecting when they come into these games, and it sort of helps in our favour a lot of the time because they're fearless. They come in and just try to play the football no matter the circumstances or the results and stuff like that. So sometimes it works in our favour, but other times we're possibly a bit too naive as well in terms of holding our own and just doing the dirty side of football, to be honest, and that's what we're trying to put right.
Tell me about your role. What does Tony Mowbray say to you?
Probably not a lot, to be honest. I think that's why I get the freedom that I do playing in this team. He just always tells me to go out there and express myself and just try to be the best version of me when I step out onto the pitch, and that's what I try to do. Sometimes it doesn't come off, sometimes it does come off, and thankfully today I managed to win the penalty and take the penalty, but he just gives me a lot of freedom to go out there and express myself. I'm still a young boy myself. He doesn't try to put too much pressure on me or any of the other lads, and I think that works in our favour a lot of the time, and I thoroughly enjoy it.
Is the dream to get to the promised land with Sunderland?
Yeah, definitely, 100%. That's the main goal for everybody involved with the club, I'd say. We're working towards that, and we're trying to do that week in, week out, and day in, day out, just with training and how we prepare and go about things, and hopefully, I don't want to say it'll be this season or any season, but we're going in the right direction, and hopefully it'll be soon for the club's sake.
I mean, it's a heck of a championship, isn't it? Above you, you've got teams like Ipswich, Leicester, Leeds, Southampton. I mean, whoever gets in the end deserves to get there, Jack.
100%. This league's one of the hardest leagues in the world for a reason. Anybody's beating anybody on the day, and we found that out this season, and I'm sure a lot of other teams have found that out as well. The teams at the top deserve to be at the top, and I think there's a lot of talent in them teams, and there's a lot of big name players in them teams as well. So every week you go into the game, there's going to be a different challenge, and you've just got to be mentally ready for it.
That was Jack Clark speaking to me post-match at the Den. Sunderland left with a point. Impressive boy and a good player he is too. Graeme, when you were at Newcastle, Sunderland, of course, massive rivals, but they were in the same top flight division as you, weren't they?
Yeah,
so, I mean, the rivalry, and now, of course, later on in the day, what Jack and I didn't know then was that they were drawing each other in the cup later on in the day. I mean,
Sunderland are an enormous football club, and I always ask the question, where does the support come from? And it comes from all the villages, in Durham.
Yeah.
Whereas Newcastle's at the bigger city, and it's easy to think where their support comes from, but it's from all the little towns, villages around Sunderland. I mean, they're a well-supported football club.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, they showed it Saturday.
They should be in the Premier League.
Yeah.
They should, they'd be an asset to the Premier League. They're going to get 50,000 people every week in the stadium. In that part of the world, if you have the two teams at it, then only good for football.
But of course, Newcastle's Saudi owned these days. Mm-hmm. Simon, Sunderland, whether they like it or not, are probably going to have to live in the shadow of Newcastle for a considerable period of time, are they not?
Well, they've got this young kid in there that's got his dad's money, hasn't he? that's running the football club. They're back in. They went for a period of time where Ellis Short allowed the club. He was an absentee landlord, allowed the club to decline. I can remember when I first came into football, Bob Murray was the chairman of Sunderland. Didn't particularly like Bob, but notwithstanding that, the job he did for Sunderland was a good job. And at the time, Peter Reid was running the team. They were in good nick. Sunderland were punching to some extent above their weight. It does surprise me about their support, because I remember this huge stadium that they've got. And when we played them in the playoff semi-finals in the second leg, they couldn't fill it. And that surprised me. I thought, well, they'll fill this stadium. We're going to walk into an absolute bear pit in the second leg. We won the first leg 3-2. We're going to go there and we're going to walk into it, and it wasn't filled. But it's a big club. No doubt about it, it's a big club. I don't think it deserves to be in the Premier League any more than Sheffield Wednesday or Nottingham Forest, who are out of the league for 25 years. But it's certainly got the structure and the infrastructure there. But, Niall brings in Ellis, and I don't think that was the greatest move that ever happened to Sunderland.
Did he make the same mistake as lots of super wealthy individuals who have made money in many different fields? This job's easy. You can name any number of them, from Mel Morris to Mashiri.
I don't think any one of us that goes into
Abramovich
football.
in early days.
That's a narrative that you like to peddle. That people think
because
that
it's true.
No, it's not really.
Okay.
Because I'm sitting on the other side of that argument, and I say to you, when I walked in, I didn't think it was easy. I didn't think this was going to be easy. But what you do is you try to cut through some of the drivel that you guys put out there, which you deploy
Can I?
But you do, Graham.
No,
you do. You say that people think it's easy. No, what people do
I'm
is they
not
get
saying
fed
it's
up.
easy.
You
Ellis
just said
Short walked away with his tail between his legs, having spent hundreds of millions of pounds.
But that doesn't mean he thinks it's easy,
Mashiri is
Graham.
the exact same. It's the owner gets a club. They're smart, intelligent, made lots of money. Your man at Chelsea, lots of money in different fields. This job's easy. Look at the intelligence of the people
Graham,
wanting to work with. This job is easy. Then they start to listen to their own people and have their trousers taken down. It might take them 5 years to learn the game. Abramovich did
Graham,
it.
but your
There's a whole list.
the reason why I'm pushing back against it is
There's not a one-off.
not disagreeing with the fact that people walk in there with money and think that they can cut through it. And some of it needs to be cut through. But your characterisation is diminishing of people's thought process. Just because they want to approach it with different disciplines, and then they suddenly realise they've got to pivot because you lot won't allow it, because there's a set way of operating.
There's a very smart journalist in the Sunday Times wrote an article about football ownership. Mm-hmm. Very wealthy,
never having done it, right?
Very wealthy, intelligent men buy football clubs and leaves the brains at the door.
Well, of course they do.
Did you fall into that category?
Yes, of course, because I'll tell you for why. Is I spent forever and a day hiring a finance... Yeah, for moments in time. What people do that are bright, Graham... Let me finish. What people do that are bright is they pivot really quickly. They learn quickly. What I did was, when I was hiring a finance director for a business that was doing £150 million a year, was spent 6, 8, 9 months interviewing FDs. When I get one of your brethren in the door as manager, I spend 5 minutes looking at them. And there is the argument that supports your argument, which is you lose your mind because you get carried away with some of the nonsense that's perpetuated by the football industry, and then you see it for what it is, and you go, okay, I'm not going to do this, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to do the other.
Nipped a nerve here.
No, because I know the way you're characterising it.
No, but it's a fact.
It's not a fact, Graham. It's a fact
in
in your mind.
The game is littered with these stories.
No. But what you characterise
we have a current member of that fraternity at Chelsea right now.
What you're saying is people think it's easy.
Mashiri's just lost his shirt.
No industry is easy.
Everton.
What you do is, but that doesn't mean they think it's easy, Graham. What they think they can do is they can approach it in a certain way.
They listen to their own people.
And they think they get people in the door that are going to do a good job.
They listen to their own. They don't delegate well enough.
Graham? Don't we all? Don't we all make mistakes? But your characterisation is that people that walk in the door from another industry think this industry is simple.
Is telling the truth, and it's facts. That very wealthy people have come into our game,
with this industry.
Come into our game believing they know more than the people they employ.
But that's your inferiority complex.
I don't know. You might be the only person that's ever said that about me.
But it's not true, Graham.
It's 100% true.
Because you think that those on top think that you guys are the Morlocks and beneath the stairs. That's not how it works.
Stumbling now. Tell me.
I'm not stumbling.
Tell me where Mashiri went wrong then.
Making ridiculous decisions and not listening to others.
That's all I'm saying.
But
they'll listen to their own people.
It's not about thinking it's easy.
They come in and they'll look at
or having strong enough.
He left school when he was 17. He's not been to university. He's not had a life in business. This job's easy. I am super smart. I will listen to this agent or that agent, and the agents have their trousers down. Thank you very much. Spend all the club's money and then gone.
But you're speaking to someone that's been in that situation, so I can speak for that fraternity. I can speak for Todd Bowley and his vantage point. Scales. It's all about scale, but notwithstanding, at 50 million quid to me was relative. So I look at it and think, I didn't think I was smarter than Steve
Who did you listen
Coppell.
to that you shouldn't listen to then?
Probably myself at times. and made judgments that I thought were the right ones to make. But
help
the point
me.
is,
I need
he was speaking to himself.
I need a referee in this discussion.
Yes.
Is he really agreeing with me?
I'll see if I can get somebody at the
no,
VAR.
I'm not.
car.
I'm disagreeing with the principle that you think that people walk into your industry and they think it's simple. No industry is simple. What they don't do is tolerate some of the BS that you guys come out with.
Okay. Well, pivots.
And there's loads of that.
Pivot is the popular word at the moment, and we've all been pivoted in the last 2 or 3 minutes here.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.